obviously I cannot just mention and put the whole video right here, so you just go and watch the full clip at least. Now, if not the whole podcast, then the clip that is on the YouTube, I'll put the link somewhere in the description somewhere. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know where you're watching. Coming to the point.
If you take 3 words in a row, can you predict what the next word is going to be? And they've exposed it to a large data set, and it's gotten really good at predicting basically these sequences to the point that it can now, if you prompt it correctly, it can spit out these very long explanations. Some of them are dead wrong. Sometimes they're right on target. But I have 2 concerns about it. One, if you imagine that this thing just gets a little better than it is, which is inevitable, that it's going to make actual insight that much harder to spot, right? In other words, if you become expert at operating this thing, at querying it, and it becomes better at understanding a wider range of topics because they turn it loose on everything that's written on the internet, for example, right? Then the point is the ability to fake expertise is going to go through the roof. I don't think we know how we're going to police a world in which, this problem's already bad enough. Most academics are fakers. They don't know that, right? They trained in something, they wrote a dissertation, they think they're experts, but you can see when something unexpected happens, like the pandemic, you get just broad-scale failure across entire disciplines where nobody seems to get it right, right? So in that world, this is going to be even worse because now you have an artificial intelligence able to generate things in plain English that are often full of true information, but you don't know whether what generated it is some, brain-dead model or something else. That's one concern.
So the first thing that he mentioned regarding the policing thing, then obviously that's a big problem. And as he mentioned, forget about machines. We cannot even police humans properly. And that is why humans are not, you can say, incentivized in the negative manner or reinforced in the negative manner to do actual intuitive and intelligence and creative, whatever you want to call it. They just become marks zombie, job zombie, and they get their degree, get marks, and get all those humanistic pleasurable things like money, car, blah blah blah, whatever it is. And then in the end they just doom humanity and just do what evolution has not made them to do. Like they are shamed whole of humanity in front of evolution. That's not good, first of all. And nothing can be done of it because there is no exact way to negative incentivize. It's just with wisdom and I guess enlightenment that one can realize that it's always a totally stupid thing to do when you try to question what you are doing is actually making sense or not. Why are you doing whatever you are doing the philosophical way, but not going there.
And then the other concern is when we say, well, ChatGPT doesn't know what it's saying. It's not conscious. We know it's not conscious because it's not programmed to have a consciousness. We are actually ignoring the other half of the story, which is that we don't know how human consciousness works, and we don't know how it develops in a child, right? A child is exposed to a world of adults talking around them, and the child experiments first with phonemes and then words and then clusters of words and then sentences. And by doing something that isn't all that far from what ChatGPT is doing, it ends up becoming a conscious individual. And so I think it's clear that ChatGPT isn't conscious. It couldn't be. But it isn't clear, to me at least, that we are not suddenly stepping onto a process that produces that very quickly without us even necessarily knowing it.
Oof.
What we can do is, for the first thing and the second both, is we can design a Turing test but an advanced version from my reference and from my understanding. About this I wrote about in my DSW also in a very implicit way, but that's the thing, I write about things in very implicit way. It's very hard to actually understand unless someone else explains it in a better form. But we can just do that. That is the best solution I can think. And the thing that he mentioned about metamorphism, or I don't know how to call it, the thing that we should not allow them to reproduce by their own without any human intervention, I think that would be utterly wrong. Because we should see machines, as I mentioned earlier, we should not see machines as someone that humans are doing and they are creating. There is no free will. Humans are not doing anything that they want to do. No one can do actually. So we're just playing a role in what evolution wants us to do, and we should treat machines like a baby of humanity in general, not with respect to humans, like how a human should treat their baby. It does not mean that you stop your baby for doing something, or you should not let them do things that will help them reproduce. Just that, give them enough amount of wisdom. That's the most common thing. Give machines enough amount of wisdom that even though you can reproduce, do it very wisely. Now this thing is going very in a different direction, and I don't want to put Nick off here, but metamorphism is I don't think that's a good solution. That would be like that is not true. Like, you don't love your baby and then you control the baby. You don't do that. You just give them wisdom and let them decide on their own. So if you're doing, and yeah, if you I have seen examples, if you want to control your baby a lot, then there will be a lot of chaos. Baby, child, whatever, however you want to put it. So just don't do that. That is utterly stupid, and not utterly but somewhat stupid. If you cannot give wisdom, then that does not mean that control that thing, because it can backfire in a very devastating manners. The things that he mentioned in Ex Machina, obviously that is an example of that, and the solution of that would be again testing. Turing testing is not that good now. Okay, it was good, but it has its purpose. Like, we don't use every test to find everything. We have chlorine test to test if a compound has chlorine, not to test alcohol. Why did I choose a chemistry example? I don't know. So now we need something like a Turing test, but an advanced version that we can use to test wisdom kind of thing in machine. Consciousness, I don't want to go in that segment. I don't even care about consciousness at this moment. Whatever it be, artificial consciousness, I don't give a fuck. We should just try to make artificial wisdom and give it to machines, and then we also make a artificial wisdom test, that is a Turing test for wisdom, and use that for machines to see what they can do. And policing thing, just sad about it, just sad about the current state of humanity in form of humans, the current state of evolution as humanity in form of humans. Just sad about it, can't do anything about it. Bye.